going on, everybody? And we are logging on to episode 103. I am your host, Frank McKnight, and we got a very special guest here today as we're doing our first Spotlight interview back since the podcast were launched. It's the man, the myth, the legend, also magician, Timothy Paul. How you doing, my man?
Good, buddy.
Good.
103. I heard you hit 1,000 subscribers, yeah?
Dude, this was last night. It hit 1K. I am
crazy.
so happy about it.
I saw the plus 600 in the last 28 days.
Last 28 days, bro.
What, you been doing like TikTok dances?
Not the dances.
Yeah,
It. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. My TikToks are corny, but it's not the corny dances.
Doesn't matter, bro. I mean,
it's been working, man. Yeah. It's been working, dude. But yeah, that actually was the answer
from TikTok.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, TikTok's huge, man.
Because YouTube, they didn't have their version of TikTok for a little bit, the shorts. And then they just started with that. And I was a little skeptical of like if I should put my old TikToks on there or whatnot. I didn't really have a good reason why I didn't want to. But then finally I was just like, fuck it. I started posting them day by day.
Yeah.
And the subscribers just kept on coming in.
It's insane. Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It's good.
Yeah,
I haven't found a way to like, cause I was doing TikTok for a bit.
Yeah.
It's just so draining. Like, especially for what I do, because like there's so many takes that are necessary. You know, if you're doing like a card trick, okay.
Yeah.
If you're doing 2 videos a day, 7 days a week, that's 14 tricks.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like I know hundreds or thousands of tricks.
Yeah.
But to have variety, like you have to research the tricks, learn it. So everything that I posted was the first time that I ever did it, and it'll be the last time that I ever do it. I just did it for content, but you know, one video could take, I mean, honestly, could take up to 20-30 minutes. Sometimes you get lucky and have one cut.
Sure.
But it's a full-time job.
Oh, 100%, man.
And like, I don't mind because, you know, you can blow up.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to transfer it over to like YouTube or any of the other platforms.
Yeah.
So it's just on TikTok. But
well, dude, I think you should definitely everything that you make save because thank God I did that, so I could put them on YouTube and everything like that, you know. And that's kind of where I'm stuck with right now is like it is not repurposing it. More or less, it's like, all right, I got this influx of subscribers, but I ran out of all my old TikToks. So now my brain's been working. It was like, all right, what's next? You know what I mean?
Well, what I was doing, I was batching them. So I would take one day out of the week. So like block scheduling style, but for your own personal time or project. So like Monday was recording day. So I would do 9 to 5, just recording. Yeah. And if I was able to make 30 videos, like, I bet, you know, I got 3 weeks worth of content.
100%.
But it was more like I'm just skimming by on 14. And then a lot of them got taken down. Like,
what? Why?
So there was this one that I posted. It was tremendous. There's this thing called a sponge ding dong.
Okay.
Which is exactly what it sounds like. Like, you know the magic trick with the sponge balls?
Yeah, like how they multiply, right?
Yeah, you put it in your hand, and it goes from my hand to your hand. It's super corny, but I mean, it's amazing magic, like, and it's so practical to do. So there's this one bit where you put them in the hand, and then they turn into like a big old sponge dingling.
Gotcha. Okay.
And very corny, very hack. I would never do it. But I knew that it would be viral on something like TikTok. So I posted it, blew up.
I think I remember that.
It was on a Ring doorbell. So I did. I go and I ring. It's my own Ring doorbell. I'm not going to go up to a stranger's home. Just be like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
It was my own Ring doorbell, you know. And so I ring it, and then I like put this thing in my hand, turns into a sponge ding dong, and then I run away. And just like people are like, it was going off.
People ate it up.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a sponge
ding dong. Yeah. Right.
On a Ring doorbell camera. Innovation. But then Instagram was like, nah. I mean, TikTok, they're like, we can't have that. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
You guys have such bad stuff on here.
100%, dude.
Sponge wiener. Like, take it easy.
They're very hypocritical with some of the stuff they keep on there and the stuff that they decide that is like, nope, not good. TikTok's been locking down with shit like that lately, dude.
Got haters.
But good, man. I'm glad that you're making the TikToks and everything like that.
I stopped, but I was. I mean, it was fun, man. I had some great opportunities, like a couple. What's his name? Sam Reich, I think his name is. He's the CEO of College Humor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did.
College Humor's great.
I did magic lessons for him. He hit me up. He's like, "Yo, dude, like, I love your stuff. Can I do magic lessons?"
Wow.
I was like, "Wow, of course." Yeah, he's man. An awesome guy. So I got to meet him and so many other cool people. So it's fun. I miss it. I want to do it. It blew up. Like I got like, I mean, nothing crazy, but like 11,000 followers.
Hell yeah, man.
A month, but it was unsustainable. But
I think it's just it's a lot more work, especially as you go down the line doing it, no?
And it's unpaid work. I mean, so, like, listen, I would love to be in a position to dedicate all this time to brand building.
Yeah.
But I got to get out there and do gigs.
Sure.
And so it's tough to balance that time. But, yeah, no, it's...
So
I miss it.
Where did you meet the College Humor boss?
On
TikTok, but like was he in California or something like that?
No, we did like virtual.
Oh, the
lessons.
virtual one, the virtual lesson.
He sent me an email and it was like CEO of College Humor, Sam Reich. I was like, okay, bro. Like,
yeah.
But then I saw it, I Googled it, I was like, oh no, he is. And then I saw that he followed me, I followed him, and then we just went back and forth and yeah, awesome dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. College Humor, I'm pretty sure they're the ones that did those Batman skits, right? Do you know, like the Dark Knight parody ones?
I would assume.
Yeah.
They have a show, I think it's called Game Time or something like that, where he's the host. I definitely lied and said that I'm like a diehard fan.
Okay, right.
But I think I watched like one video back when E-Bombs World was around. So like I can't tell. I couldn't tell you if it was a Batman parody, but I'm sure it sounds on brand.
I think it was. Those were my favorite back in the day. That's why College Humor rung a bell when you brought that up to me.
Well, I think they have like the most. I could be totally wrong, but I think it's like the most watch time. For like a channel on YouTube or on the internet, one of those statistics, I think.
Okay, I'm not surprised.
I mean, right below Frank McKnight's.
That's right. But yeah, man, I know you've been traveling a lot. Like this podcast, I'm telling you right now, this was in the works for a while before you even knew I wanted to do a podcast with you. Because,
oh, really?
Dude, because I was like, all right, for these spotlight interviews, like I want to get people that are doing something creative, doing something awesome, stuff like that. You were one of the first people that came in mind.
Oh, that's sweet.
So, but then I knew you moved, which I believe to Texas, right?
First I was in Cali.
First you were in California.
Yeah.
And then you moved to
and then
Texas.
I was in Texas.
Yeah. So I knew you were away, and at the time I wasn't a fan of the virtual podcast. I love the in-person stuff
of Texas. I was like,
no,
me neither.
But now you're back in Jersey, and I was like, perfect opportunity. I got to hit this kid up. We actually saw each other. I forgot where, but we saw each other, and that's when I brought it up to
Max's.
You. It was Max's. Yes. Yeah. Speaking of. Craft beers. What's your beer of choice lately right now?
I had the other day. I was drinking a lot. Like not like an alarming amount.
Right.
I was having a beer or two a night.
Sure. Okay.
And unfortunately for my physique, that's unacceptable. I can't do that. I was just bloated 24/7. But so I slowed down. But I had. I love that Source Brewery. I think I was telling you about that.
Yeah.
Source.
Yes.
Dude, that place is incredible. They're very good.
It's a place I would like to visit.
You still haven't been?
I still haven't been there.
Oh, cut the cameras.
Cut the cameras. Let's get out of here.
Let's move this over to Source.
Yeah.
No, Source is killer. So like California, obviously, their craft beer or their breweries are insane. They have incredible breweries. Same with Texas, especially. I was in Austin, Texas. Their craft beer over there as well. So when I moved back, I was like. Got some big shoes to fill, Like it's not as over there. It's a drinking culture. You go, you get some brisket,
and
then you drink some Shiner Bock,
right,
or some some local craft beer.
Yeah.
And then you go ride a bull. Like, that's what they do there.
Right.
On a Tuesday. So over here, it's not really that. You know? But yeah, that place Source is killer. But I had the other day Icarus.
Icarus is good.
Yacht juice.
That I haven't tried.
I don't know if it's their new one or something.
Okay.
I had it at where was it? Shogun Legend, the hibachi spot in Wall.
Okay, I never heard of that.
I was like, just pour me. I go and I was like, I like every beer. Just pour me whichever one you want. I'll
nice.
be happy. Like that's what I tell them. You know?
Yeah.
And I think they hate me for that. I don't know, but I don't want to make a choice. They probably hate me, but I do it with a smile.
Yeah.
Like whatever you're secretly drinking back there, just give me. I won't tell your boss. So he gave me the Icarus yacht juice. I was like, oh, this is pretty good.
It sounds like a summer seasonal one.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I gave it to my brother. I was like, you gotta try this. He's like, is this Blue Moon? I was like, oh no, it's not. But
yeah,
it's fancier than that, bro.
I think that it's better to say just give me whatever than saying.
I do that so much. I'm so bad at with decisions. It's terrible,
dude. But I think that's actually a clever way of saying what drink you want, right?
Yeah.
To a waiter or waitress, rather than being like that tool bag, because I feel like a tool bag that says it's like, yeah, what do you have on draft? Like, what craft beers do you have? You know what I mean?
You know what I do? This is probably the best piece of advice I can offer to anyone.
Okay.
So you go in with your starter, okay? A Yingling, a Miller Lite, whatever you drink, okay? And then from there, depending on the vibe, you just look at them, you go, okay, I had this, where do I go from here? That's it. So if I'm like at Source, they change their beer constantly.
Right.
So I'll start off with IPA. I go, okay, I had the IPA last time. Disclaimer, I like everything. Where do I go from here? And then they give you two options. And then you just go, oh,
yeah.
You know? I mean, if you like the first one, you know that the other two will be good.
100%.
And if not, just chug it.
Yeah.
Move on with your day.
The other day, Cape May Brewery, who I love, we've done craft beer taste testing pods where majority of them, for the summer seasonal podcast I think we did, majority of them were Cape May, right? But anyway, big fan of them. And they came out with this new one where they partnered up with Wawa. It's a peach iced tea.
Really?
It's fantastic.
Really?
Bro. I had it the other day.
Where's
it's
the
so
fridge,
good.
Baby?
Yeah, I don't.
Come on,
they're gone now.
Must have been good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good, man. But yeah, dude, I'm a big
Wawa.
fan.
I miss Wawa. In Texas, they have Buc-ee's, which
Okay.
is it's a religion over there. Buc-ee's. So when you're driving in, like if you're in like Louisiana, let's say you're 156 miles out, the billboards for Buc-ee's start 200 miles out.
Oh,
So
wow.
there'll be a billboard. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like that, you are the only car on the road. You're driving in the desert, and there's just one lonely billboard, and it says Buc-ee's next right, 200 miles.
200 miles.
I swear. And it's like, oh wow, no, at least I got something to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, right.
You pull up, dude. These places are. It's the size of the mall. Like it's in.
Really?
Bro, they are insane. And we went during like the peak of COVID, back when you didn't know what was gonna what it did to you, like what was gonna happen. So it's pretty scary.
Right.
They didn't give a fuck, dude. They were throwing brisket in your mouth, bro. Like they had these thing called beaver nuggets, like that's their like signature thing. I still don't know what they are to this day.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's so much hype, dude. I didn't get it. Like I was walking out, I was like, "Where's the fucking hoagies?"
Well, Texas, I didn't think they really cared like much when it came to peak COVID or anything, right? They didn't give a shit.
Well, I was in Austin, and Austin definitely did.
Well, probably because it's more touristy there, right?
It's more. Texas is a very politically charged state.
100%, yeah.
On both sides.
Okay.
So Austin is a speck of blue.
Gotcha.
And so with that comes, I mean, it's the capital. Any capital, and it's so funny. When I lived in California, I lived in the capital of California.
Oh,
I was
really?
in Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
Texas, I lived in Austin, which is the capital. So every capital area, for the most part, will be, swaying one way or the other, and typically very heavily. So Austin, they were like for those who cared, like they cared.
Yeah.
You know, and those who didn't, they didn't.
Right.
You know, but outside of those areas, yeah, I mean, Texas was just like wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you want.
Now, tell me this. Well, your time spent in both California and Texas, which one did you rather? Which one did you prefer more?
I had a very nice time in California.
Yeah, I'm
California
sure.
It was nice. I mean, listen, I don't like politics impeding like into my life.
Oh yeah, right. Me neither.
Which like it's kind of unavoidable. Like that's kind of what politics is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we're just getting to the age where we like recognize it. Like, oh no, there are repercussions to this shit. Like,
100%, dude. Yeah.
But I don't want to live in like politically charged states where it's like the identity. So Texas, that was very big.
Mm-hmm.
But and also like we had the winter storm over at Texas. I'm from New Jersey. It was bad.
Yeah.
Bro, it was bad. We were homeless for a month.
What?
Our house got destroyed.
No way.
Destroyed. There's not a single shovel in the whole fucking state of Texas. It started dumping snow. And they said that they were going to do rolling blackouts. And so essentially like 30 minutes, because they have their own power grid.
Mm-hmm.
So 30 minutes of no power for you, and then we'll turn the power back on. It got down to like 5 degrees. And Texas isn't built for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no insulation.
Yeah.
The apartment that we were living in, like, it was one of those apartments where the hallways are like wide open air, because Texas is like 110 degrees every day. So that's what it's built for. But nope, 5 degrees, snow was dumping. I looked at my partner. I was like, "Hey, do we have a shovel?" And she's like, "No." I was like, "Can we go get one?"
Yeah.
She's like, "No." And as soon as that happened, power went out.
Oh man.
And it stayed out for I think a little over a week.
Holy shit.
So our apartment got down to 20 degrees in like, I swear, in an hour.
Yeah.
There's no heat, no water, no electricity. We just got our dog that day.
Oh, dude.
He's a French bulldog, so he's shivering like, "What did you do to me?" Like,
yeah, right.
So we got super lucky and we found a hotel, and we were staying in this hotel for like, we were in there for like a month.
Wow.
But a hole opened up in our ceiling, water went through, black mold everywhere. Got out.
Jesus Christ.
There was no food, no water. I had to wait on a ration line for chicken.
Really?
Because all the roads were closed.
Yeah.
Because they don't have salt.
Yeah.
So these truckers can't come in. So it was just like, bro, it was scary, dude. It was horrifying.
A week without like that automatically reminded me of Sandy, but that sounds 10 times worse because it was snow.
They're a little bit more prepared here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they were like, it's an understatement to say that they weren't prepared over there. And also, I was in a downtown. Like, I lived in downtown Austin.
Okay.
So, it's a little, like, over here, if you were screwed, you can knock on one of your neighbor's doors. It's just not the same. They say that Texas is, Southern hospitality and all that. Mm. It's a marketing ploy. It's not true. It's fake. The slogan when you enter Texas is y'all drive friendly now. But it's the state with the most road rage.
Oh my god.
Bro, they'll run you off the road. I flipped someone off and my girlfriend's like, never do that again. I was like, how am I going to communicate to him?
Yeah.
Because that's what we do in Jersey. She's
right.
Like, never do that again.
Oh my god.
So, long story short, Texas, it was fun for what it was.
Yeah.
But California, I enjoyed. It was a very special time. First place when you leave. On the other side of the country.
Yeah, man.
I was working with that magic company. So it was just, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
How long were you in Cali for?
I was there for 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
And Texas, you were there?
Texas there too.
2. And was it right after that storm? It was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
No, so Texas, no. After that,
yeah.
Like we checked on our apartment, saw a hole in it. I was like, well, we're fucked. Like,
right.
We have to leave. Mm-hmm. So we started looking for new places. So we found this one spot beautiful spot, a little bit more in the suburbs, like 10 minutes south from Austin, which South Austin's the cool spot anyways. So I was like, all right, like I'm not mad. We pull up, we get approved, we live in this spot, brand new. It's like a duplex, so brand new. I was pulling the wrapper off the fridge. Like, it was incredible. I loved it.
Hell yeah.
We kept smelling like pee.
Uh-oh.
So we kept smelling piss. And the way Austin's, the gentrification over there is like so rapid. So you'll have like a $3 million home next to a crack house.
Okay.
But you might be best buddies with that crack house neighbor.
Sure.
Because they're kind of entertaining and they protect the block. So we were in that situation. We had a very nice place, and right next to it was a little rundown spot.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe they have like cockroaches are rampant in Texas.
Okay.
No matter where you are, you're gonna have cockroaches, which is disgusting. But I was like, maybe it's like roaches or rats or something. No, it was a major gas leak in our house.
Oh shit,
bro! We had 9 gas leaks in our brand new unit.
Holy shit!
And I called up the landlord. I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah,
dude, my first house, the roof collapses from a winter storm. I go to this safe sanctuary in the suburbs, and there's a gas leak. How does this happen?
Yeah.
So that was the deciding factor. Like, my girlfriend, she was like, how many more signs do we need?
Yeah, right.
And I was like, I'm exhausted, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, at this point, I'm exhausted. You know, so I was like, you know where we won't have issues like this? Freehold, New Jersey.
Yeah, that's right.
These things are built in the 1700s. Like, fucking better than the new units in Austin, Texas. It's like, let's just go there. So she's new to Jersey. She loves it.
Awesome.
You know, it's tough moving all over all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
We just re-signed another year lease, so this is our first time that we're like staying a little bit longer, especially not due to a natural disaster. So
right.
It feels good, like, to be settled in again.
100%. I'm sure, but I'm sure it feels good to like be back home, like, in a sense too. No, like
it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely, you know, like it's different. You see it in a different lens. Sure. You know, like, there are some things that I wish that this area had. There's some things that I'm very fortunate that it has. You know, so, but you can't look. It's not either or. I think it's and. Yes. So, it is very nice to be back, and it's nice to see some of the changes. Like, you know, there's like that ramen spot in the borough.
Oh yeah. Been? I have not been. My brother's been there and said he loves it. Yeah,
so good.
Okay.
So, like, I think that people in Jersey, they have a lot of pride, and they're like, dude, this, like, our fucking shit's the best
for sure.
And it's like maybe the best in your neighborhood, but there's a lot better in other places. Like, yeah, let's be honest. So, like, in California, ramen over there is like massive. Same with sushi too, because like poke and all of that, because Hawaii's 6 hours from there as opposed to 12 hours from us. So a lot of the culture from Hawaiian, especially in Sacramento, they're there, and so they make like super authentic poke, super authentic ramen. But the ramen in the borough, like, as good. Awesome. I was blown away.
I'm glad that you think that.
I was blown away. Yeah, okay. Very good.
Gotta check it out then.
It's, yeah, because, you know, it's like, and the borough, like, I don't know. I think in 5 years that place is gonna be the coolest area.
Dude, I always thought that could be a cool, like, it's just formatted, right, where it could be like a cool, like, bar hopping.
It would be great.
Area.
It would be so, they would make so much money.
I 100% agree.
It would be incredible. Like, we don't need a flower shop from the 70s.
Right.
Like,
right.
You know, like, come on. I'm not going to, listen, I love supporting local small businesses, but, like, the tailoring shop, it's like, bro, you haven't been open in like 2 years.
100%.
Like, you know, so I think once all of that, like, flushes out, and it's not like, yes, you have to hold on to tradition, but you also have to progress. It's
100%.
like adapt or die.
Yeah.
That's it. And if they're not going to go here, they're going to go somewhere else. So where do you want them to go?
Absolutely.
You know? But so, yeah, they have the brewery that's supposed to open up.
Yes.
Artis,
yeah. Artis, yes. Okay.
The steakhouse, the ramen. There's an Indian spot over there that's gas.
There's Indian, you said?
Yes.
Ooh, I need to try that spot out.
Bro, it's so good.
Dude, there's so much there in the borough as far as food-wise, bro. It literally is just a melting pot of all different
I love it. And
food,
man. It's not the typical, like, bacon, egg, and cheese or
right.
a pizza. Like, you know, which you can only eat so much of that.
Oh, right.
You gotta have a little variety.
100%, man.
Have Indian. Like, and I never... That's why I'm grateful that I traveled, because I remember when I moved to California, I never had curry. I didn't know what curry was.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And what does that tell you? It's a very jaded mindset of like, just because I never had it, so I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah.
I took one hit of that shit, and I was hooked. I was like, yo, this curry shit is fucking insane, dude. So to see it open up at a place that's so close to my hometown, like with Indian food, it's just, I don't know, it's quite nice. It feels good. So
it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Now, as far as California and Texas, when it comes to your work with magic and everything like that, we were speaking a little bit about like clientele and everything of that nature. How were you able to get clientele? Was it through social media primarily, or was it more or less like, let me just walk around like the town or whatnot and word of mouth sort of deal, get connections and things of that nature?
So I'll be totally honest, I wasn't working there. Like,
okay.
I tried.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very difficult. And we were talking about before, like building your book of business, no matter what you're doing, is extremely difficult because you have to take sacrifices.
Sure.
And if the sacrifice is pay or it's the type of work that you do for exposure, like, so when I went to California, I had a full-time job. I was working for a magic company, which was like the most... Listen, I did shows my whole life.
Right.
So as a performer, you don't do anything during the week, and you work 1 or 2 gigs during the weekend. Mm-hmm. And, growing up, that was more than enough to sustain me.
Yeah, sure.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
You just see me at Starbucks every day.
Oh, yeah,
I was just doing...
Those were the times, bro.
I was just practicing like, it was the life.
Yeah.
So I signed up with this magic company, and it was 9 to 5. Like, I was getting up at, like, 6 a.m. Mm-hmm. And I'm not built... it's not that I'm not built for that. It's just, I thought that it would be as similar to my current lifestyle, which was gigging.
Right.
But it wasn't the case. Like, it was taking up so much time. And I honestly, like... Ironically, I worked for the largest, most successful magic company in the world.
Oh, yeah?
And I stopped doing magic. Like, it was magic overload, and it was a job more than anything. So, and plus, the market over there is a lot different. So, for example, Sacramento is Northern California. LA is about 7 hours south. Mm-hmm. LA is the epicenter of entertainment.
Right.
And everyone in LA is a starving artist.
Yes. So a lot of competition.
A lot of competition, but also a lot they fuck you. So this guy reached out and he's like, I want you to do a gig on Halloween night at my bar, 2, 3, 4 hours, and yeah, it'll be a great time. What do you charge? Mm-hmm. And I told him my rates. And I upcharged him because it's Halloween night.
Yeah.
That's like an in-demand night.
For sure.
I mean,
yeah.
It's spooky as fuck.
Right.
So I told him that, and he's like, whoa. I could get a DJ for like $50. I'm like, well, then go get a fucking DJ.
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably just saying that to see if you would charge less, no?
Well, possibly, but I know for a fact he could also get a DJ for $6.
Sure, yeah.
So all of that to say is the culture over there is survival, where there's so much competition. So rather than elevating your work or your craft, they'll just undercharge the rest of them to get the gig.
Yes.
So they're like, listen, my diet consists of sunflower seeds and beer. Give me beer and I can buy $50 worth of sunflower seeds and I'll survive.
Right.
It's very starving artist mentality, which as someone who's a little bit more established, it's very difficult to compete with that.
Yeah.
So California, I wasn't doing many shows, and the same in Texas too. Even though Texas was wide open, it's not part of the culture as it is here on the East Coast. Surprisingly enough, like magic is much more accepted here as a entertainment that's worthy of having, and that's a great addition to an event. At Texas, they were just like I was reaching out to these country clubs because I work a lot of country clubs. Great clientele. Appreciative of the magic, typically a little bit more of an emotional intelligence type of crowd. Okay, so they enjoy magic. It was like talking to a wall to the country clubs in Texas. They were like, well, I mean, we'll just get a cigar roller. Why do we need magic?
Cigar roller, yeah.
So like, it's very tough to create the market.
Yeah.
And if you're the pioneer of that and you are the one to create the market, you're set. But the amount of work that's needed to create the market it's a lot. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And that comes with like the sacrifice too and everything of that nature.
So, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Having to do, okay, fine, I'll do the gig for $50. Like, bro, I haven't charged $50 since I was 12.
Right.
You know? It's
right, yeah.
So, yeah, but...
So... I'm actually a little surprised there I thought Texas would be a cool, like, magic, like, scene as well, right?
I thought so, too.
I think it does make sense how East Coast is big with that and everything like that. You got New York, Jersey, and everything, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But I am surprised about Texas. I'm not going to lie.
But, well, because Texas, especially Austin in particular, it's very innovative. So they're... And it's very cutthroat. There's so much competition. The amount of restaurants located just in downtown Austin, let's say, they all have to have some type of advantage or differentiate themselves. They're not in it, like you'll have an establishment, let's say here in Jersey, like the surrounding competition, they're your comrades here. That's the mentality. Like, we're in this together. We're in the same market. You're out of bread, I'll give you bread. That's not the mentality over there. The mentality over there is, how do I get people from your place to my place? How do I get you to no longer be competition? Like, it's competition in that sense. As opposed to here, it feels like, all right, I'm already established, you're established. Let's just
work together. More of a community.
1,000%.
Yeah.
So with Texas, I thought that was an advantage for me.
Yeah.
Because when you have to look at those signs and be like, how do I take advantage of that? So I created this. I might do it here. It's called the Golden Ticket Magic Show. So the idea is pretty much, I create these golden tickets, which are impossible items. So one is like a deck of cards inside of a glass bottle, and the deck of cards can't come out. And they can't go in because it's bigger than the bottle. Right. And there's no seams around it. So it's an impossible item. And hiding 50 of them around downtown. And anyone who finds it, first of all, they're going to be like, what the fuck? Right. And attached to it is a golden ticket, kind of like Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka, right.
And the golden ticket is free admission to a show at a secret location.
Okay.
Which would be a brewery or a speakeasy, or something along those natures.
Yeah.
And you don't get the address until 24 hours before the show. And upon picking up the bottle, you are accepting that you're going to take it. It says, if you have no intentions, leave the bottle for someone else.
Yeah.
And, I mean, think about it. Like, so that's how, I think that's, when you're in entrepreneurial business, you have to take those sacrifices. Like, I could have said, okay, I'll just do a show for $50, but that didn't excite me artistically. So if I did that show, I would have sucked. I know it. I wouldn't have given it my all. it wouldn't have led to anything. And they're like, oh, well, exposure. Like, fuck your exposure. Exposure ain't going to pay my rent. I need money.
Right,
like,
100%, man.
And your exposure, what kind of exposure? You're offering me $50.
Yeah.
I don't want your exposure.
Right, right, yeah.
So, but something like this is, I'm giving away free shows. Like, I would have to spend probably $1,200 to rent out the place. But think about the opportunities that could bring. Think about the press. Like, that's a very... we were talking about TikTok. I invite a 5 or 10 local TikTok people to make videos about it.
Yeah.
Then, before you know it, you could have a successful business.
100%.
So I was going around to brewery after brewery, speakeasy after speakeasy, pitching this idea, being like, listen, you don't got to put anything up. I'm going to bring these people to you.
Yeah.
They're going to buy your drinks.
Right.
They were like, I don't get it. I'm like, bro, this is an incredible idea.
Yeah.
Like,
it really is.
I think it's all... I was so passionate about it for so long. But, you know, getting beat down with a couple of no's, like, it does weigh on you.
100%.
You have to have thick skin.
Yeah.
But you also have to know when to take your energy and put it elsewhere.
Sure.
The market is spoken. It's not something that they're interested in. I'm willing to try to create this market, but after enough resistance, you know, how many more signs do we need? Kind of like what we had before.
Right.
But I would love to try it here. I think it would be awesome.
I think it would be awesome.
I think it'd be fucking...
What if you did that? What if you scattered these bottles all across the town, the borough, right?
Yep.
And, spoiler alert, that secret location would be Artis or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing. I was
thinking here would be nice.
Oh, dude. I would be ecstatic if you told me, hey, Frank, you know, like...
Or I could have 75 strangers pick up a bottle and come to your basement.
Yeah. No, that is a really neat idea. Really, and that's like innovative too and everything like that. Like you said, it was like exciting for you, like artistically, to do something like that. Just imagine how it would feel if you were the one that also found the bottle and be like, oh shit, like this is interesting as fuck. Like, I gotta go to this.
The idea, you know, with magic, like if I could have an impact on you here in the present moment, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But what if I could have an impact on you before you see something?
Yeah.
Before you see me, before you know I exist.
Building the hype.
What if I could have an impact afterwards? And I think it's extremely, like, obviously the afterwards is probably the most important part.
For sure.
I can't tell you how many times people are like, oh my God, I remember you did a trick for me years ago where you made my card disappear and appear in my grandmother's jewelry box back in Brooklyn. And I'm like, dude, I can't believe that. That was amazing. I never did that. Yeah. You know? I have no idea where that idea came from, but it's a theory in magic called the Comet Effect.
Okay.
So while I'm performing the effect, there's two effects that happen when I do a trick.
Okay.
There's the perceived effect happening currently, and there's the story that you tell afterwards. And my goal is split 50-50. I want you to enjoy the effect as I'm doing it, but I also want to plant seeds of false information so that when you recall what happened to someone else, the effect is greater than what it really was perceived as.
Okay.
So, for example, if I have you pick a card,
right,
and then I find the card, you'll be like, oh my God, that's a great trick. But if I had you just think of a card, and then I found it, that's arguably a greater trick.
100%.
Because it's a free choice. It's less likely that I could force or influence your thought than I could a card.
Right.
So it'd be much more difficult to influence your thought. But instead, I can influence your perception. So as you're picking the card, I continuously refer to, I'm like, and that card that you just thought of, what was it? So now I'm planting the seed of, I thought of a card. I am thinking of a card. So now when you go on a week later and tell someone about Timothy Paul the Magician, you go, dude, I thought of a card and it appeared in my grandma's wallet. and you know, and it's like, so it's so fascinating, magic and the psychology behind it, the craft behind it,
100%.
and all of that.
Is that what got you into it to begin with?
No. I got into it because I want to cheat my friends for money. Playing poker.
That's great.
We used to all play. It's funny. We used to all play poker for like pennies, you know.
Yeah.
And I would tell them, I was like, "Yo, listen, if you want to win that hand, just tap me under the foot." Like I told my one buddy, he was my partner, and if he's got a nice hand, he just tap my foot under his foot, and then deal him with a boat or something like that. Take all the money, we split it. I guess word got out because everyone's tapping my fucking foot.
Yeah, oh my god.
So I got to deal with him 4 of a kind, him royal flush, and of course I get the winning hand. I was like, okay, fuck you guys. You know?
Yeah, right.
So I started Magic. My mentor was he was a card cheat. He was a con man. His name was Simon Lovell, and he kind of took me under his wing and taught me how to cheat at cards. But there's not really a market for like grown men that want to play poker with a 9-year-old boy.
Right.
I started using my powers for good, and I took those techniques and started doing more traditional sleight of hand magic for entertainment value,
right?
As opposed to con man, because this guy, he was a con man. He was a wonderful, exceptional magician. But he was a con man. And for some reason, my parents were cool with me hanging out with him. Like, oh, you're going to the city to hang out with that drunk fucking grifter?
Yeah.
But so that's what interested me. And then, you know, just moving forward, stepping away from that and going more towards, like, the magic route, there's so much incredible magic, like theory and history, that's just so fascinating. Like, for example, World War II was stopped for a day because of a magic trick.
Was it?
Yes. So it's this trick called Out of This World. I think it was World War II or World War I. Which one was Churchill? Was it World War II?
Oh, dude. You're asking the wrong person
guy
right now.
Okay. Well, Winston Churchill, there was this magician that went into the bunker, I don't fucking know, and did a magic trick for Winston Churchill mid-battle. And he called a ceasefire and had the magician do the trick over and over and over and over again, trying to figure it out.
Wow.
And eventually he got so pissed, they kicked the magician out, and he stayed in his room deconstructing this effect that he saw. And he never did. The war resumed shortly after, but for one day, a war got paused because of a magic trick.
That's awesome.
It is. So, you know, finding awesome magic history, it's so interesting. And, like, you know, at one point, magicians were the most feared people in the world. I mean, we stopped wars. We've started wars. Salem witch trial, I mean, believe what you want.
Right.
But the first ever magic book was printed to debunk the witches during the Salem witch hunt. It's called The Discovery of Witchcraft. And is the first book ever written about magic. And it was banned by the king at the time, and every single copy was burned because his favorite thing to do was to burn so-called witches. So it leaves an interesting question. Were they just magicians that were practicing their art, or were just people just batshit crazy and just burning people?
Right.
It's interesting how the first ever magic book came out at that exact same time and had such an impact that it was banned.
Wow.
So it's just so much fascinating history, and that is what, like, that's what took me from, like, cheating and stuff to, like, oh, this is actually, like, really cool stuff.
There is 100% of history to it and everything.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, so
tell me, is there like a is this book, like, just literally not in existence anymore?
No, it is. There's
it is
2 copies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and David Copperfield owns 1.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
The other one's probably in Smithsonian libraries.
Yeah, sure.
It's called The Discovery of Witchcraft. I think it was like 1672 is written.
Yeah.
There is an existing copy, and it's public domain. Like, you can check it out. Like, there's like this one trick, which was the oldest recorded trick in history, is between two. It's the cups and balls, which is still done today with the 3 cups and the 3 balls. Mm-hmm. That's the oldest trick. There are pictures of cavemen, the hieroglyphics of people performing this piece.
So that literally is the oldest trick in the book, huh?
It's literally the oldest trick in the book.
Wow, all right. Awesome.
Or debatable, decapitating a chicken's head, ripping the head off of a chicken and putting it back on. That was the first recorded performance, which is by this magician named Didi, who he performed for some pharaoh back in ancient Egyptian culture. Mm-hmm. And I think he shortly became a god after that. So it's so funny how these people were feared.
Yeah.
And now you can hire them for your kid's birthday party for $50.
Right.
Where did we fuck up? Yeah. Where did we fuck up, dude?
Yeah. Speaking of David Copperfield, did you have any inspirations growing up when learning magic and everything? He had to have been one of them, right?
No, I never fucked with Copperfield. But you can't discredit him.
Sure.
Because he's the highest paid entertainer of all time. He's the wealthiest entertainer ever. So the guy's a goat. He's doing something right.
Of course.
That's not really my style. Very flashy, theatrical.
Oh, 100%.
And it's cringe. It's cringe.
Sometimes it could be. Yeah, very much.
They call it in the box paradox, where it's you take your beautiful assistant, you put her in a box, and she willingly goes into a box. And now, not to get too minute, but I think it's pretty outdated putting a female assistant inside of a box.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
But she willingly goes into the box, and then the magician locks the box. And then the second that the box is locked, she's all scared. How did I get in this box? It's what the fuck kind of... That's not theater.
Yeah.
That's not drama.
Right.
Right. So that era of magic, it worked back then, but I didn't really fuck with it. I mean, David Blaine's the goat.
Yeah, he is the GOAT. I 100% agree.
I mean, so he was definitely the biggest influence and impact. Street Magic, his special came out at that time.
That was a YouTube thing, right? With Blaine?
No, it was CBS.
Oh, was it?
I think it was CBS or NBC. Yeah.
Okay.
So his idea was to, and it'll go back to that thing, adapt or die. Mm-hmm. That's kind of been my motto lately. It's adapt or die. So Blaine adapted. What he did was every single magic special back then, Copperfield, Doug Henning, any of them, the attention was on the magician. It's just the camera was on you. Mm-hmm. And Blaine was the first person to ever flip the script. And he's why would the camera be on me? It should be on the spectators.
Getting the reaction.
Because they're the ones freaking out.
Yep.
And no one at that time was doing that. So Blaine pitched it. No one bought it. Eventually, NBC, they're we need more glitter. I don't know. So and eventually, NBC, ABC, one of them, it was Leonardo DiCaprio that was responsible for it. Leonardo DiCaprio's father was a big fan of magic, a big fan of Blaine, and he put in the word for NBC to hey, sign this kid up.
Oh, wow.
So young Leo's navigating. He's the voiceover for the first special.
Okay.
Yeah. So and he does interviews with him. It's hysterical. But anyway, so then Blaine put the camera on the spectators, and then
it was history
before
from
you
there.
know it, and then it changed magic forever.
Yeah.
Where now it's all about it changed television. If you think about drama, that's what drama is. Drama is reactions.
Yes.
And the show that came off immediately after David Blaine's Street Magic special was Cops.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
So, and I think he had something to do with it, where it's the just that aspect of okay, let's just remove the script, let's authenticity.
Yeah.
Reactions. Look how good this magic special did. Let's replicate it. Oh, let's just run people over with our cop cars and televise it. Right. That'll do well. So it's funny how magicians, they are so intertwined with filmmaking.
Yeah.
And television shows. J.J. Abrams, he's a incredible magician. Lost was inspired from a box that he got called the Tannen's Magic Mystery Box. The first ever motion picture, Les Morale, The Man on the Moon,
was
made by a magician. He was using his magic props, and he created a motion picture with gimmicks that he was using for magic. He was using it to make a video appear on stage of a ghost. And he just used his invention and created the first ever motion picture.
Wow.
So it's so I think to start it off, it was definitely Blaine. That was the inspiration. But now as I'm getting older, just finding like all of those little tidbits, it's just so inspiring. Yeah. It's so fascinating too.
Blaine I loved when you got the reactions of all the celebrities when he was doing the tricks for the celebrities.
He still does that. Now he leans on that.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that was making the views and everything like that.
Marketing 101,
yeah, 100%. But it's also blowing my mind, like all the stuff that you've been saying, like magicians, they're like behind the scenes doing incredible stuff in history.
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%.
I think that's amazing. That is amazing.
There's so many fascinating stories.
Yeah.
And also with just inventions too. Whatever the case is, because magicians, we're tinkerers.
Mm-hmm.
We create. They're called gimmicks in the industry. We create these things to aid us and help us achieve a certain effect while having to hide it. So the amount of attention to detail is remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes into inventions. It goes into history. It goes into structure. And like to me, that's like the most fascinating part. And it's the part that so little people know about. Because like you think magician is just like, ugh, fuck
fuck
there's a magician here. Like, oh,
that was something I wanted to ask you too, was that do you think performing magic is like, I don't want to say dying breed, but I kind of want to say like not a lot of people talk about it like they used to back in the day, or like magicians aren't usually performing as much as they used to at parties and stuff like that anymore?
No. Well, not in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So before there used to be, like, think of Barnum and Bailey's Circus.
Right.
It's a massive, massive, massive business.
Mm-hmm.
Unethical.
100%.
But massive for that time. At a time when, quite honestly, didn't know better.
Yeah.
You know? But there were magic theaters and magic parlor. Magic was entertainment reserved for royalty back in the day. There is a form of magic called parlor magic, which literally meant you had to have a parlor inside your home to put on a magic show.
Oh, okay.
And not every person has a parlor in their house.
Right.
So magic was reserved for royalty at one time. So it definitely has. It's definitely changed.
Mm-hmm.
Magicians are the ones responsible for that. Magician is, we are gatekeepers inherently, which is an advantage, but I think it's more of a massive disadvantage, especially in the information age. And there's so many traditionalists that go, you can't tell the secret. It's like, why not? Like, we all have YouTube.
100%.
So I'm not under that. I think that YouTube and tutorials and exposure, I think it's the best thing that ever happened for magic.
Sure.
Because it's what's bringing people to this interest.
Right.
Think of Penn and Teller Fool Us. Incredible show.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving away the methods on national television.
Right.
And it's from two of the most respected magicians of
I
our generation.
Them. Yeah,
Magic is supposed to. It's not all about the secrets. Like, it's not about the trick.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 1% of it. It really is. Magic is an emotion. Magic doesn't happen it happens in the mind.
Yes.
And
okay.
It's when you remove and look for all solutions and you eventually just give up and you go into this, they call it suspension of disbelief. That's what magic is. So nowadays, with all the tutorials and everything, it's the best thing for magic. And magic is more popular than ever nowadays.
Okay.
But there are a few bad apples that sour it by doing poor magic.
Okay, gotcha.
Most people will go their life without seeing a magician perform live. It's, there was this poll that was done recently by this guy, Chris Ramsey. He's a YouTube magician. He blew the fuck up from doing puzzles online. He's got millions of subscribers. And he made a poll, and it was like, how many of you have ever seen a magician before live? And like an overwhelming majority said, I've never seen it before. And the rest said, I've seen magic live once. The chances of them have seen a good performance of magic live is slim to none. So that person's going to leave, just like I discussed the after effect.
Yes.
They're going to leave and they're going to be like, bro, fucking magic is so whack, dude. Like, they insulted my intelligence. He made me put a fucking sponge ding dong in my hand. Like, it's so we're hurting ourselves with that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, magic's more popular than ever. It's great to see.
I wouldn't have expected you to say that people showing how the tricks are done and everything on YouTube was actually a good thing for it. Because what I was going to say was, how about that asshole who had his own TV show
the
revealing
magician?
Yes, yeah. That guy.
That was the greatest thing for magic.
It was the greatest thing for magic. In your opinion,
yes.
See, I was fascinated by that show.
You know how many years that was?
A while ago, right?
Probably almost 15 years ago.
Yeah,
you
right.
You still know the name. You're still talking about.
Yep. 100%.
How many shows from back then are you talking about?
Besides, like, the old cartoons.
Even know the name of, so it has an impact.
Oh yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. Magic Revealed. Yes. And I'll always remember the mask that he wore.
Well, he took it off.
You see, I look.
The last secret he revealed was his identity.
It was, and what was it, like Vlad something?
Vlad, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
he's Argentinian magician, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Vlad.
Okay.
Oh, he made bread too, bro. Good for him. Get that bag.
Great for him. Get that bag,
dude.
No one else was doing that, revealing the tricks and everything. Probably because, like, maybe back then, like, every magician thought that was, like, taboo in a sense. Let's reveal the secrets, you know?
But that's the point.
Right.
That's art.
100%.
Adapt or die. If this guy is going to go on national television and expose a trick that you're doing, you have to do better magic.
Yeah, right.
Like,
it's like
that's
being put to the test. Yeah,
that's on you.
Yes,
absolutely. if you're still sawing a woman in half in the traditional way, back from the original method from the 50s, you're fucked. Like, you got to change that up.
Yeah,
go back to the drawing board. It's a challenge, and challenge is good.
Yeah, 100%.
Challenge is good for your craft.
Hell yeah, man.
If you're not willing to, and if you're just gonna bitch about it, like, that's on you, bro.
It also sounds like it might not be for you either.
Of course, no, it's not.
Yeah,
dude, magic especially. There's a lot of bad magic, and I don't blame anyone for hating it. But there's a lot of bad magic, and it's always the like horrible magicians that they just can't wait to do magic to random people. Like, you'll be out enjoying dinner, you'll be walking down the street, and this like kid in, I don't know, fucking baggy pants and eyeliner will come up and be like,
right,
and do a horrible trick. And the guy's like, okay, can I eat my fucking steak?
Yeah, right.
Fuck away from me, you know? So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like, the greatest magicians in the world, they'll beg. You'll be like, please show me a trick, and they're like, maybe later.
Yeah, right.
Which is also bad, because this person probably never seen a magic trick before, and you have the opportunity to have an impact on them that they will talk about for years.
Yeah, this is true.
And so that's something that weighs on me, because I was never one to perform like all the time, like, and I regret it. But yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, the revealing and all that, it's important.
What do you mean you don't wish you performed more like when you were younger? Because when it was those Starbucks days, bro, we were always begging you to do a trick, and you always delivered, man.
Yeah, well,
You know? You like remember the
Maybe
one?
I'm remembering wrong. Maybe I am.
Well, dude, I remember there was this one time. I even have it. I have a video of it buried somewhere, maybe on an old phone of mine or something like that. But
I'm excited to hear this because this might be just what we were talking about.
Okay.
See if the memory is real.
All right. See. So, yes, right. So, you had like a little piece of tissue paper and a lighter. And you're like, listen, it's going to be extremely hot first, and then it's going to become extremely cold. Uh-huh. So you took the lighter, you lit the little tissue paper on fire, basically like just went in flames right away, but then you closed your hands. And then you were like, Frank, put your hands out. So I was like, okay. Put my hands out. Next thing I notice, there's water dripping from your fucking hands. And you just drop an ice cube into my hand. I was like, what the fuck? And it was on video, too. So after that, I kept on looking back at it.
Oh, did you?
How the fuck did this guy do it?
Yes.
That was one of the ones that I'll always remember. And there was a couple times I think we were hanging out with, like, Tom Craig, and, like, you hypnotized him or something like that. The hypnotism, But that's what I'm saying. Like, you always performed and everything. Like, you helped me out with the school project back in senior year for Miss English's class. You weren't in Township though, right? You were in Borough? You went to Borough. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you know Miss English though, right?
I don't know.
Oh, she was one of like the best teachers at Township
high
ever.
High school was a blur for me, bro.
Gotcha. Well,
high school was
especially senior year, me too.
Sure,
yeah.
Magicians, we used performance enhancement drugs. Went hand in hand with magicians. But it's funny because you were spot on with that exact trick. Everything. I thought you were gonna forget the water part.
No.
But yeah, you were spot on, and that's an extremely memorable trick. Because it's unconventional.
Right.
It's a fucking fireball appears.
Right.
Water starts pouring out of his fucking hands. And then there's a 3-inch by 3-inch ice cube, block of ice, in my hands in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Where did it come from? And we were sitting there. Sitting there for a while.
I knew you were going to talk about that. I know. We were there for like 2 hours.
We were there for 2 hours.
It's a great fucking trick.
It is.
And so that trick, the history behind that, is from this magician named Max Molini. Max Molini was royalty in magic. He was one of the first superstar magicians, right next to Houdini. Molini, you see the inspiration. Molini was this short, 4-foot, spoke barely any English, and he performed for royalty. He was the first wedding crasher. And he would go up to Rockefeller's private residence, uninvited. He would walk into the house and he would say, "Good evening, my name's Max Molini." Pull out a power drill, drill a hole into their wall of the fucking Rockefeller residence.
Shit.
Drill a hole into the wall, take a hook, put the hook into the hole, and then hang his coat on it. And then enter the party. Talk about a grand entrance.
Yeah.
He would do magic for 2 hours straight. This guy had drive, bro.
Yeah.
About drive.
Sounds
it's
like
about
it.
power, dude.
Yeah,
he was
right.
in there, dude. He would do effects that were incredible. He did the ice trick. Originally, it was but his block of ice was much bigger. He used to do a block of ice that was like this big, and he would make it appear under someone's hat. And this was before refrigeration and freezers, like where it was commercially available. So talk about like that's an even more incredible trick.
Right.
He used to do a trick where he would take a playing card, make it disappear, and usually a magician would be like, it's in your pocket. But he went further. It would be in the lining of a gentleman's jacket. And the only way to get it out, he would take out a pocket knife and cut the stitching of their jacket and pull out the card. Unbeknownst to him, he would go and find the tailor and pay him to sew in a card into this person's jacket. The dedication was real.
The dedication
was there. But you're performing
there.
for royalty here.
Yeah.
So it's necessary.
Yes.
And he would end his show by saying, "Thank you very much. My name's Max Molini." Take his coat, pull out the hole, the hook.
Yeah.
And then rub the hole, and the hole would disappear. And then he'd walk out.
That's amazing.
That's a fucking legend to me.
That is a legend, yeah.
So that trick is that block of ice is inspired by Max Molini.
Okay. I like the backstory to that one.
Dude, the drill, great. Just pulling out a power drill.
Pulling out the drill is a sick fucking one.
Fire, dude.
Yeah, that is
I was like,
fire.
I gotta put that in my act.
Yeah.
Let me just, bro, insane. Yeah.
Now you, I guess there's a book, there's some sort of, I don't even know how to explain it, where you could file in your own magic trick that you created, a card trick, anything of that nature, right? I don't know the exact word for it or anything like that.
Publish.
Yes, there you go. That's what I meant to say. You've done that for a trick back in the day of your own. I don't know if you published more after that or not.
Yeah.
You have.
A couple. Not much.
Right.
It's a massive market, dude.
Is it? Yeah.
Massive market. Yeah.
Now,
it's massive.
First off, I was extremely proud when you first said,
man.
I was like, yeah, I published my very first trick and everything. Man. I'm like, holy shit, someone to come up with their own trick. That's some work alone too.
It is, yeah.
You know?
For sure. Because, magic is I don't have proof of this, like statistic or stat. But
yeah.
I heard, and I can believe it. Magic is one of the most documented, published art forms or crafts in the world.
Really?
So more than medical journals. I don't know if more than novels, but novels not documented craft.
Right.
But there is a huge market for magicians buying and selling magic tricks. Most magicians and magic tricks that you will see are bought. It doesn't mean that they're like self-working and you just buy it and can do it.
Right.
But they're usually purchased. Either a standalone effect, which would be something like a gimmick, where, let's say you'll spend $35 on an online magic shop or a brick and mortar magic store, and you could buy a wallet that when you open it, it lights on fire. Like you could spend $35 and do that right now. Mm-hmm. Or you could spend $1,000 on a manuscript that's 5 pages long.
Right.
That has an incredible effect in it. So I published, the first thing I ever published was in a magazine called Magic Magazine.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where, magicians are gatekeepers. Like I had this passion for creating magic. It's a mark of achievement in your community to be a creative creator of magic. It's like you're royalty.
Right. That's what it sounds like anyway. Okay.
It's not the truth.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
And I dedicate a lot of time on the perception, which I think is extremely unfair. Like we have to have honesty in our community.
Sure.
It seemed quite unfair, but nonetheless, I'm not mad. Like it's a very fun act of creating magic.
Yeah.
So the first thing I published was in a magazine, and then I published like a download for this company, the company that I worked with. And then I put out this one trick, the get out of jail free trick, which is still for sale.
Alrighty.
I don't know how many there are. That was a shit show because I had to build. It was a gimmicked card.
Yeah.
That had, and I mean, I don't care about exposure. It's my trick. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
It's a gimmicked card where a Monopoly card turns into a selected playing card, like a get out of jail free card. Like I fuck up the trick and then I go, oh, I got this, a get out of jail free card, which was a gag I used to do in high school. Like if I did something fucked up, I would just pull that out of my wall and give it to the teacher, and I don't know why I got away with it. They're like, "Oh, Timmy." Okay. So you take that out to get out of jail free card. You wave your hand, it turns into the playing card. Get out of jail free card's gone. It's a very clean vanish. It is extremely gimmicked, meaning to build that one card takes about 45 minutes. Per card. There are 8 very thin rare earth magnets that 4 placed into the card, 4 placed in the get out of jail free card. And that's how do you get a magnet inside of a card?
Right.
Well, you have to split a playing card. So you take a playing card and you split the layers of it, place the magnets, then you take something called dry mounting tissue, which is usually used for crafts. It's a adhesive that's activated with heat. And then I'd iron the card, do the same thing with the Monopoly card, make sure everything's lined up perfectly.
Yeah.
And if it's not, 45 minutes out the toilet.
Right.
Totally fucked up.
Yeah.
But if it's good, it looks unbelievable. It looks incredible. So I built this for myself. I sent it to this magic company, and they were like, we want it. I was like, great. So they were like, great, we'll have our team in China build it. So a couple months pass, and they go, Tim, there's bad news. They can't build this. It's very labor intensive. Would you be willing to build it? And me, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, I'm like, of course!
Yeah.
Bro, it was a full-time job.
Yeah.
I was in a basement fucking sweating over these cards. I had to make 1,500.
Holy shit, dude.
And it was exhausting. It was horrible. It was
1,500, yeah?
And I got paid per unit that was made, but wasn't worth it.
Right.
Wasn't worth it.
Well, how much time did that take to get all that completed? Like a year more? I feel
way more. I gave up halfway.
Oh,
and the project got delayed. And I eventually stopped working with the company.
Yeah.
And part of the, I don't know, legality, how much I could share that, but essentially I had to complete by a certain time. So it was like a short burst, a long pause, and then another short burst. So all in all, it took me like 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, not worth it. I should have never submitted that trick. I should have just kept it to myself.
Well, do you have a couple of those saved up for like I can't.
No, I can't. It's like, listen, they're not gonna fucking, the magic police ain't gonna come to my door.
Right.
It's a partnered product unless I gave them.
I see.
Yeah. So like I said, it's a massive market.
Yeah.
So contractually, they own the effects by just majority.
Gotcha.
And it's great for magicians that don't have the funds or the following to start up. And like it's great, but I do not recommend doing something that you have to build.
Right.
Because it's just like the first 100 were very fun.
Sure.
I was like, this is the best. But by like 750, I was just crying. I had one of those like headlamps.
Oh my god!
I'm just over a table. It's horrible.
God damn, man.
So yeah, and then I wrote I started doing lectures. I was doing a little bit of like a lecture tour, I guess you would say.
Okay.
For other like magic groups, and that was fun. But I kind of stopped caring so much about the creative process with the goal of selling. Because selling to magicians is a lot different than selling to a normal person.
Sure.
I could do a trick for you right now that is like the first trick that I ever learned, and you would be blown the fuck away. If I do it to a magician, they're like, ew.
Right.
Like, where's the latest and greatest? Magicians are very obsessed with the latest and greatest. It's a consumer market.
Yeah.
And it's just burn and turn. What's new? And listen, if you could capitalize on it, and if you could put out magic tricks that have never been done before, which is extremely difficult, being that it's the most documented thing, and it also ties into ethics too. Like, you can't just publish anything. Like, technically you could self-publish it, but if you publish a trick and don't give proper crediting, you're banned.
Oh yeah.
Magicians will destroy you. Like, they don't fuck around, dude. They're very, very serious with crediting.
Yeah.
Because it's a secret society.
Right.
Okay? It's a secret community, and you have to uphold to certain ideals and give credit where credit is due. And I get that, to an extent. But yeah, they don't fuck around with that. Like, you will not go to the convention. If you do a magician wrong, like, the magic police will be there.
They will.
The ethics is real there, which is, it's very interesting.
It's very interesting, but I also think that's very fair, too.
But then it ties back into YouTube. When you go
right.
And when you, even Penn and Teller. So Penn and Teller, they build themselves as the bad boys of magic. Because they did that cups and balls trick with clear cups. It's a totally different effect at that point. Usually it's done with solid brass cups, and it's been done like that for hundreds and thousands of years.
Yeah.
Literally the oldest trick in the book.
Right.
And magicians are still doing it today. But Penn Teller was like, well, fuck that. Like, let's just do it with clear cups and, like, kind of reveal the secret, but also make it artistic. And, like, now you can appreciate what I'm doing. You can appreciate the sleight of hand.
Right.
So Penn Teller, they were the first ones. I mean, they were doing that since, like, the 70s, the 80s.
Oh, wow,
They were the first ones to, like, reveal magic while also being extremely well-established magicians.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like they broke all the ethics.
Right, but I think in a good way.
They did it tastefully.
They did it tastefully, right.
Of course.
Yeah.
They did it tastefully. And it was a contribution. It elevated the art of magic as opposed to bringing it down to... The biggest problem with... I'll sum up the problem with like YouTube is... Or even magic on TikTok. It's, I'm going to do a trick for you and then immediately show you how it's done. Like, that's the new trending thing on TikTok. Like, I'll take this, I'll make it disappear, and then without skipping a beat, I'll show you how it's done.
Right.
You didn't ask for that. You weren't like, I want to know that. Like, you didn't even have time to think if you wanted to know.
Right.
They just showed you and then showed you.
So I think I see where you're going with this. The problem with that is that magic is also like, how the hell did he do that? Like, have you thinking and everything like that. And then there's that element of like disbelief that it actually happened because you can't figure it out.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Of course. Well, I mean, it's, as I said, magic happens in the mind.
Right.
Seeing magic, and I will be, seeing magic done live and done on TV is like, it's like driving a Prius and then driving a Lamborghini. There is such a stark difference. And that has to do with the psychology of magic. And there's really no true feeling of like God-smacked awe and astonishment.
Yeah.
There's no feeling like that in any other art form. Or it's very, very rare.
Right.
Like, the only example I could think of is when an artist paints upside down, and then you're like, what is that? What is he doing? He's an abstract artist. He's a Pollock, And then he turns around and it's like Michael Jackson.
Right.
Go, whoa, that's cool. Like, that's like the very base level. Magic has the possibility of literally blowing your fucking mind out of your ass.
100%.
And that can only be achieved live. Once you are taken down, and only done with an expert magician, if you sit down knowing that you're going to see a magic show and you're looking, you go, oh, it's in his hand. And then he shows his hand empty. And you go, oh, it's in his other hand.
Yeah.
And then he shows that hand empty. And you go, oh, it must be up his sleeve. And then he pulls his sleeves off of his jacket. And you go, I have no fucking idea. I'm just going to give up. This guy is an expert. I'm going to give up, and I'm just going to live in the moment and enjoy for what it is.
Yeah.
That's when magic can begin. I want you to be critical, and I want you to be analytical. Because without it, there's no not challenge, but there's nothing to compare it to.
Sure.
But the real magicians, the only way you can get to the end of that magic rainbow is once I've given you 10 false solutions taking you down this garden path, and then at the very end, it's just the fucking axe to the head, and your mashed potatoes and your seed at the end of it. So that's the goal of magic. It's like Peter Pan, you know? If you go see Broadway and you see Peter Pan's floating around. There's two ways to view that. You can look at that and go, I see the wires. Like, this is fucking corny. Or you can feel what it would feel like if he could float.
Right.
If he was. You have that choice. How you want to live your life is up to you. Like, I'm not trying to shove an idea down your throat.
Right.
Like, I am a real magician. Or,
right.
I am really flying. Like, no, I'm not. It's all fake. But I want you to feel like it is.
Right.
Not that I would prefer if you did.
Sure.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But it would be in your best interest to just chill the fuck out.
And enjoy the show.
And enjoy the fucking show.
Yeah, exactly.
Chill the fuck out, dude. You know?
All right, man. Well, would you want to put on a little show right now? You want to show us a couple of tricks up your sleeve? All right, cool, man.
Let's do it. I can't believe I forgot cards, dude. Your deck.
Yes, sir. Yep, that's right. My deck, by the way. That should go saying.
Okay. So we are going to we're gonna go back in time.
Okay.
We're gonna time travel. First here at the Frank McKnight studio. We're gonna travel back in time, and to travel in time, we need to find a moment to travel back to.
Okay.
So I want you to touch any card. It genuinely doesn't matter which one it is, and I want you to turn it over and put it back in the position it was, so it's the only face-up card.
Okay, gotcha.
Right there.
Now I'm turning it over and putting it right back?
Turn it over, yep. All good.
Alrighty.
Perfect. So this is the moment that we're going to go back to.
Okay.
Take in everything about this moment. See how all the cards are face down, except for your card, the King of Spades. Notice how deep it is face up in the deck. Notice how this card is skewed a little bit. Take in every single detail about this moment, because this is the moment that we're going to go back to.
Okay.
Okay?
Gotcha.
I see the sweat dripping.
Yeah.
So this is the moment that we're going to go back to. So, of course, now that we know the moment to go back to, we have to disrupt this image. The image of where your card once was face up. But just shuffling the cards into the deck, that's not enough to disrupt it. So instead, we're going to shuffle the cards in a very weird way. We're going to shuffle them face up into face down. So that some cards are going to be facing the ceiling. Some cards will be facing the floor, and there'll even be some cards that are back to back. Can you name a time or a number between 1 and 10?
You want me to set?
Yes.
6.
I thought you were going to say 7 at first.
Yeah.
It's the most thought of number.
Okay.
With 6.
Yes.
Okay. We can do this with 6 here. Look at the... we're going to travel back in time to that moment. So we have an image that we created then destroyed, and now we have a destination. 6. Watch close. The time here is 1:43. I don't know if we have clocks, but if you watch, I'm actually able to make the time go backwards exactly 6 minutes.
What the hell?
And it's not only 6 minutes here. If you can look on the MacBook or somewhere, it's 1:38 everywhere.
It's 1:38 on my laptop too.
It's 1:38 on the phone. It brings us back enough so that we can go back in time when every card was face down except for one card, your card, the King of Spades.
Holy shit. Holy shit. How the hell did you do that with the phone, though? I thought this whole time, like, yeah, it was a card trick and everything, but, like, you... Okay. That was impressive. Very impressive. Very good.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. That's awesome.
Fun.
How did you do that with the phone?
Just... You know.
That was great, man.
I'll tell you for $20.
I'll tell you for $20. All right, man. Well, I appreciate the trick, dude. That was awesome.
No, yeah, it's It's what I do.
It's what you do.
I have to. You know? It beats dancing on TikTok.
It definitely does. Definitely does.
So what's next for the podcast for you? Now that you have this new subscribers and everything?
So really, the plan is to have awesome guests like yourself on here to talk about and do cool stuff. And I don't want to necessarily change anything with the podcast. Like, we started off as the movie podcast, right? And as the episodes went on, we started swaying more and more away from that, and not swaying away, but like we started expanding the horizon basically and talking about everything.
Okay.
Me and Luke Gans talked about it, and we were like, let's start going back to our roots a little bit more. We started losing episodes like that, you know what I mean?
Okay. And how has that been for you?
It's been great.
Has it been more enjoyable?
It's been more enjoyable.
That's most important.
100%. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I could mainly talk about. I know a lot about it. Yes, very passionate about it.
Well, you're passionate about movies too.
Well, movies, TV shows, all that stuff.
Yes,
that stuff like that. Video games, like the main media
so going
things.
back to the roots being going back to movies, video games, and all
yes.
that. Okay, understood.
Yes.
Understood.
So, don't get me wrong, we'll still have episodes of... An episode could be about a beer taste testing. Another one will be about movies. Another one will be talking about mental health. It'll still be like that, but majority of them will be about the movies and TV and everything like that. And me and Luke are working on a certain schedule of how, like, right now we're doing the podcast. We're releasing episodes twice a month. Starting next year, I think we're going to go back to an episode a week basis.
Okay.
And doing that, I think it'll give us some more wiggle room and being like, all right, first week of the month, movie topic. Next week of the month, sport topic. Next week of the month, one of these spotlight interviews. Things of that nature.
Sure.
So, what I'm trying to please most audiences of what we talk about, even though there should be a niche, which is the movies and TV.
Okay.
But, I post the pictures like, hey, on Instagram, like, hey, this is what today's podcast about. If that reaches and sparks an interest to someone that's interested in that field, then hell yeah, man.
Yes.
I'm all about that.
Absolutely.
I'm all about that. So not much is changing, but with this new subscriber count, I'm telling you what, I am going to be focusing more on the TikToks and everything like that.
I saw different style videos. I mean, the one, what was the one you recently posted?
Which one?
I think there were nipples involved in laser beams.
Yep. That was a song.
That was great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I was watching that, and my girlfriend, she was on the couch, and
yeah.
she just slowly looked at me. She's like,
I'll tell you,
babe, leave me alone. Like, I'm vibing out here.
I'll tell you what.
But she loved it. She was giggling.
Yeah.
I loved it too. I thought it was great.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
That takes balls.
Oh, dude, 100%.
That takes balls.
100%. I'm like getting red now. They're gonna that I even put that out there.
But you have to.
Yeah,
dude,
man.
You see my old Magic Monday videos, dude?
Dude, I can't believe I didn't even bring that up before. Yes, of course, man. Dude, I was one of your biggest fans. Dude, of course I remember Magic Monday.
So we have a new neighbor. She just moved in.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's no secret. People are going to do recon. They're going to do intelligence on new people that they meet. We all do it. We're all guilty of it.
Right.
We'll find out your mother's maiden name.
Right.
Like in 3 seconds.
Sure.
It's the information age.
Yeah.
Very sweet girl. Awesome person. We go out to dinner, me, my girlfriend, and her, and we're hanging out, and she goes, so what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a magician. And usually that elicits, like, a response.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like, yeah. I was like, maybe she thought I said musician. So I was like,
magician. Yeah.
And she goes, yeah. I was like, you're not going to ask to, like, see something?
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. Like, I love, but, like, I'm just taken aback because that never happens.
Right.
She goes, I know you're a magician. I was like, how?
Yeah.
She goes, I saw your videos on YouTube, the Magic Monday videos. The second that you moved in said Timothy Paul, I found you and I saw all your videos.
Oh my
God. No. I was like, are you serious? She's like, yep, the one with the Santa Claus special was my favorite.
Dude,
like,
yes, that was a great one. Yeah, dude.
It's so embarrassing, and it's, I've lost gigs because of it.
No way.
Fuck yeah, of course. I'm quoting them bread for their, like, corporate event, and then they see half-baked me in high school fucking with a rented Santa Claus. Like, they're like, no, this guy really doesn't fit the culture of our company.
Wow.
But I can't take them down because it's just...
dude, I don't think you should take them down.
Yeah, I had to take one down. I did have to take one down. I got death threats from it.
No way. Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I fucked up. It was... I take accountability for it.
Okay.
But,
all right. As long as you did that. As long as you did that.
Yeah. So I removed it. But it was a good one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the Magic Mondays, those were...
I loved them. Me and Chorman, man. I'm telling you, it's like, yo, today's Monday, bro. Dude, you know what that means.
It was great. And you know what? There's so many people that, like, started doing that. So many magicians that started doing that. Like, I'm not saying I'm the innovator. Like, it doesn't take that much effort or mental strain to be like, Magic and Monday both start with M.
Yeah, right.
I think there's something here. Like, it doesn't take that much. But, yeah, it was a special time in my creative journey. It was fun.
Yeah, man. No, I really enjoyed them. All my friends really enjoyed them. And don't get me wrong too. Even your live tricks and everything like that at Starbucks, at wherever the case may be. Have you been there? Have you been there lately or no?
I'm a snob with coffee now.
Are you? Yeah.
California did that to me.
Oh, I'm sure.
California has, especially Sacramento. Sacramento has like the most amazing coffee. With the Magic Company, the partners would come in all the time, and it's half based in Sacramento and then half based in like the UK, and one of them was in Paris, and another one's from Spain. The espresso over there is worlds better than the espresso here in the States. Typically, they were at the coffee shops there. They were like, dude, this is better than any espresso I've had in Paris. And it's like, what, really? So the coffee scene over there is very good. And I brought that with me. So now I'm a snob with coffee.
So where do you go now? Or are you ordering coffee grains online or something like that? All at home.
Yeah.
All at home.
So I got a listen, I don't got a budget for a $10,000 espresso machine. So it's called the Flare. It's like a manual lever espresso. You should come over for a cup of espresso. Did you drink coffee?
Of course, I'm big with coffee.
You should come over. It's a crowd. But I get my beans from. It's a wholesaler in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm dropping the name, but my favorite is in Sacramento. They're called Camellia's Coffee Roaster, and then there's.
I feel like I've heard of that. To be honest with you,
maybe
Camellia's.
Camellia's.
Oh,
like
Camellia's. It sounds familiar to me for some reason.
Temple is the most popular. Like, it's reached
a larger audience, like,
and they're from Sacramento too.
Okay.
But Camellia's, those were the homies. So yeah, I get my beans from there, and I got that espresso maker. I make my own cold brew too. I'm thinking about stopping everything and just making a cold brew stand.
Yeah.
And just making bread. My cold brew's gas, dude.
Is it? I only just started getting into cold brew.
Really?
Because I mean, I have the Keurig here at home. I don't like spending money on coffee as much anymore, like out at Dunkin', but Dunkin', I would go from time to time to get their cold brew, and it's a brown sugar cold brew. Oh my god, dude, it's delicious.
Is it?
But
do you put milk in your coffee?
I do.
Okay.
Half and half. I would. Yeah, I do. No, I am definitely coming over one day, and I gotta test out your espresso, man.
Bro, it's good, dude.
All right, dude.
It's so good.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right, brother.
All right, man. Before we go,
yes.
Where, if you want to tell the audience where they could find you on social media and everything like that, only if you want.
Yeah. Timothy Paul Magic.
Timothy Paul Magic.
Everywhere.
There you go.
TikTok.
Yep.
I have a lot. I have a lot of videos on there. That's where I have most of mine. TikTok, Instagram. Go to my website. Just don't click on the ad because they'll charge me money. So
okay.
just go there.
You heard him there. Also, the link for all of that is going to be in the description below, too, so you can check him out. Tim, once again, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it, dude. This was a fun time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. For
you guys at home, if you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at @Ferenc_videos. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day, and peace out. Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, coming out on May 2nd, 2025. And then Avengers Secret Wars on November 7th, 2025. Two things I want to point out about this. We're going to be getting 2 Avenger movies in 1 year. Fucking awesome. But not only that, Phase 6 is going to start and end in only 1 year. They did just announce the director for Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and it is the Shang-Chi director. I don't know his name exactly. Okay. But Shang-Chi was easily the best movie of Phase 4 besides Spider-Man No Way Home, in my opinion. Secret Wars I kind of knew was coming.
Yeah, of course.
It was very highly rumored. But I am surprised about this whole Kang Dynasty movie, to be honest with you. I didn't think they were going to announce that.